What's that? Everything. Same thing that you're doing. Just keep going. So. This is take two, y'all. Take two. Take two. Right in effect. Here we go. Take two. Let me get this like this. One more time. Cool. How do I look? Should I should have my, I'm too high?
Okay.
Is that better?
That's good.
That's better?
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
So Larry, let's talk about capitalism and consumerism.
Capitalism and consumerism, right.
Yes.
Okay. So I was kind of like, I was thinking about this today, and I try not to spend my money these days. I try not to do that. And I try to save, and I try to be very intentional about how I spend my money, right? And then it dawned on me, like, this is a capitalist society. This is a consumeristic society. Consumeristic, is that a word? I might have created that word, just, I don't know. Consumerism is big, right?
Definitely.
So in order to be an active participant in this society, you need to spend your dollars.
Right.
You don't just earn the money, sock it away. That's denying yourself the full experience and expression of what this American society is all about. So it dawned on me, that was the epiphany of the day. Like, fool, wake up. You need to be, you know, having, you know, getting out there and enjoying yourself, you know? I mean, you don't want to go crazy with money, but there's that part of intention and consumerism. So I'm practicing this right now, intention and consumerism. Like, I will pay for what I want, but I'm also intentional. I want to support black businesses. So my money goes to black businesses as best I can. But I really do try to do that, right? I mean, let's talk about it. We went to Gitti Thai.
I was just thinking about that.
You know, for some Thai food from the world's only black Thai restaurant. I mean, that doesn't get any more intentional with using black dollars, right?
Right, on Slauson.
On Slauson. So that is part of this practice, you know? So what I'm saying here now is like, yo, I'm a black artist. I want to tell, my message to the people is be intentional with your dollars and spend them with me. Come check out my artwork. Yo, the poem, the story, oh my gosh.
The merch.
The merch, oh yeah, all of this, like, yo, you know, I'm not gonna curse, because you know what they say, you know, come F with me, you know,
Yes.
I'm not, you know, come support your boy. Well, that goes against what I also believe. I'm not a boy, I'm a man. Shout out to Black to Africa. He says that in his videos. He says, you know, I'm not your boy, I'm your man. I'm like, I like that. I like that.
I like that too.
You know, let's big up. Because I'm rocking my Rasta hat. No, this is my Rasta crown. That's right. So that's what this is all about. You know, this is a black expression, a black artist's expression, and that's what it is. So.
And again, where can we find your artwork?
Oh, my website is ic109.store. I also have ic109.com. That's the blog site, and you can purchase support. You can purchase the artwork itself, or you can purchase prints and postcards, even T-shirts with the artwork on it. So
nice. Okay.
yeah. So spend those black dollars with the black artists, yo. You know. Robyn, can you get on this side too? Like, because I see you over here a lot. Like.
I did a lot.
Okay. But I mean, like pan all the way across. Did you get that?
I will be in it.
Hmm?
I will be in it.
No.
What's that? What you mean?
Oh no, you're. Oh, like trying to get across.
You will be in it?
No, just.
Oh no, that's okay. I mean, just try it.
Oh, you're gonna edit it, right?
Start from that door. Yeah, it's gonna be edited. Start from outside that door.
Oh, like walking in.
Yeah.
He's gonna edit out. Yeah, they get always edited.
Wait, is this?
Yeah. So, yep. So that's what it is. That's what we're going for. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, I have so many questions for you. I don't know where to start, but we have to talk about your magnificent aunt to your right.
Auntie Dee Dee?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, shout out to my cousin, Mary Ruth Joyner. And Mary is producing. She's already produced a documentary on Auntie Dee Dee.
I heard it was really nice. Very well.
Where you see Auntie Dee Dee?
To your right.
Oh, there, over there. There she is, right. Yep. Yeah, so Auntie Dee Dee set world records. Her record has gone strong for like 34 years about. And shout out to the Jamaicans. The Jamaicans are coming. You know what? I'm so happy. I saw an interview with the young Jamaican woman. I've got to get her name. Shame on me for not knowing her name, but she's new. She's new to me, so give me a pass, okay?
Is she a runner?
Yeah, in the 200 meters, I believe she set a new record, a world record.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So because she's new to me, give me a pass. You know, don't say shame on you for not knowing her name. I'm gonna learn her name, and so in an interview, a reporter asked her, "So what do you think about the world record that stands?" You know, he's kind of saying, alluding to the fact that like the record has stood for so many years and no one's reached it. And he was like, isn't that an impossibility? He was trying to infer that Auntie Dee Dee's record should be, you know, done away with because it's been such a long time and no one's whatever. And
by the way, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Who is Auntie Dee Dee? Does the world know who Auntie Dee Dee is?
Oh, Florence Griffith Joyner, y'all.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. I have to throw that in there.
For sure. And
the reporter, I'm sorry.
And so this young sprinter in the interview said, she was like, "What are you asking me? Like, respect her record. It stands. No, you know, no argument, no question. Let's move on, okay? Give her proper respects and let that be." That's really what it was, because this reporter was insinuating, you know, something, you know, negative, and I was like, I hoped that the young Jamaican sprinter would not, you know, fall for that bait, you know, fall for it and be lured into saying, "Yeah, you're right. We need to do something with that record." No, but she stood tough. She was tough, and it was all right.
Very tasteful answer, right?
Absolutely, you know. So big up, big up the Jamaicans, yeah. So that's what's up.
What about this victory lap to your left?
Boy, oh boy, you know, that's another expression of Black Jesus, you know. Nipsey Hussle, you know, as that's how we know him, but Ermias Askedam was a gift from God, you know, and he was an example of the greatness that Black people, that we have within us. And in his short life of 33 years, his greatness was expressed. And it was a beautiful, beautiful expression. And he always reminded us that the highest human act is to inspire. So I put that there because Nipsey inspired all of this, you know? You know? So
Definitely.
So Nipsey was dope for that.
And you can learn a lot about him through your books, your podcasts, your YouTube channel. There's just so much information on him. So, and he inspired you, like, in so many ways. I
think what happened with Nipsey and his story is it informed me, you know, that history, like, yeah, it does repeat itself. Because, like, from Nipsey's lineage, Nipsey's lineage is a great lineage, okay? And his life was an expression of his greatness that was embedded in his DNA. So there were no other options for him but to flourish, but for him to, you know, blossom, because, you know, that's just what he did. It just came naturally. That's why he dropped out of school, but he was still successful. All right. That's why he had international success, because, and his principles were, you know, he said, it's not on me, it's in me. You know, it's about, yeah, it's about his spirit. It's about his dedication, his truth, you know. And basically, if we follow those same principles, you know, then we're better off that way. We're better human beings, because it's never on us. It's all within us. So that's the principle that we need to follow and just, you know, tap into. So that's what's
well
up.
said.
That's what's up. Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about your Ernesto Che Guevara? I always have a hard time saying his name.
Yeah, Ernesto Che Guevara. So,
yes.
You know, when I traveled, I was very intentional. I decided I was going to certain countries because, you know, they appealed to me for some reason. But what I didn't realize is, like, you know, travel enriches our lives. And when I learned about Ernesto Che Guevara being killed on October 9th, I was literally in Havana, Cuba.
Wow.
So being in Cuba, when I learned that, because I was reading his book, that like really, it resonated with me deeply, because it made me think, like, you know, your travels, you know, it's like your destiny. You were supposed to be here. You were supposed to learn. You were supposed to discover this information and make these connections. All right, these connections are very important. And so, so just as I learned about Che Guevara while I was in Cuba, you know, I learned recently about this man named John Charles Robinson.
Oh, tell me a little bit more about him.
Now, John Charles Robinson was the inspiration behind the Tuskegee Airmen. He was the inspiration behind Ethiopian Airlines. And for me, when I first went to Ethiopia, I decided intentionally to fly on Ethiopian Airlines. And I had no idea that I was going to learn of the man who inspired Ethiopian Airlines like that. So that was really another one of those synchronous, you know, a moment of synchronicity.
Right.
Just as I was in Havana, Cuba, learning about Che Guevara, I was flying Ethiopian Airlines, and I later learned about John C. Robinson, the man who inspired that. I'm like,
yeah, there goes the destiny. Like, it was meant to be. Like, you're learning about all these experiences, and then you learning the history of why you were there at that certain day or time or that place. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, it's like you know, we have to know our history to know where we're going. You know, going back to Nipsey, you know, if you look into who he was and discover the people that he comes from, then it's a no-brainer. It's like, of course, he was destined to be who he was. Look at where he comes from, right? And so as I traveled, these stories and these realities, you know, they just opened up to me. They just revealed themselves. And yeah, so that was so travel is just, you know, so important, wildly important. So that's kind of the message. But also, I guess the universe just folds in back on itself. You know, when you travel, you go out and you see things that reflect, you know, what is already there. Same thing with, this is gonna be really deep. I'm gonna take it there though.
Let's take it there.
Like, you know, as you go out, then things happen within, okay? As you go out, things happen within, or they hit home, you know, for you as you go out, as you travel abroad. So they say, as above, so below. Mm-hmm. So here's a little thing. Here's a little deep thing. So the Earth is the diameter of the Earth okay, if you take the distance between Earth and the sun and you divide the distance between Earth and the sun by the diameter of Earth, you'll arrive at the number 108 or 108, okay? And then, same thing with the moon. If you take the distance between the moon and Earth and divide that by the diameter of the moon, again, you get 108.
108. And where are your beads?
Oh, I'm not wearing the beads today.
I'm gonna explain the beads too. It ties into this whole concept.
The mala beads,
yes.
Yeah. So the mala beads, there are 108 mala beads. This is an Eastern philosophy. In India, the 108 is a very sacred number, okay? So as I described, in cosmology, in the stars, right? 108 is important in the heavens. So if it's as above, so below, that's the same principle. 108 is a sacred number. So the question then is, where are you going with all of these 108? If it's above, great. So what about below? Well, Nipsey.
Wow.
Nipsey rode the 108 bus on Slauson. He rode the 108 bus down Slauson, and then he took the blue line to get to the Watts Towers, where he developed and learned, learned the skills of making music. Interestingly enough, the Watts Towers is just like, it's right there.
Streets.
Yeah, right there on 108th Street, right there. It's interesting that is right there. So you've got 108, you've got the 108 bus down Slauson, and you've got the 108 street right there at Watts, where he ended up.
Wow.
So like, think about that, 108, that's so above, it's a sacred number, so below. Because my point is, Nipsey was Black Jesus right there. So for Nipsey to be in line, to have that synchronicity, a match with those, with that particular number, that's an expression. That's a sign. Hey, pay attention. All right, this brother's deep. So that's what I relate to Nipsey, right? 108. And for everything that he showed us during his lifetime, I'm like, yeah, Nipsey was a sacred dude. But rather than get off into all of that, it's just, we have to tap into our inner spirit. We have to tap into, our greatness. We have to look within. The last thing I'll say about the number 108 is, it's the number of breaths that we take. Like, 108 is so sacred in Hinduism, because it's a reflection of the breath. And the word spirit only means breath. Mm-hmm. Like, that's phenomenal. So if you're breathing, okay, don't quote me, but you have to do some math to arrive at 108. But when you do all of the math, it boils down to 108. And 108 is a reflection of the number of breaths that we take. All right? And so 108 is just a very sacred number. So you have to pay attention to 108. You have to, and I paid attention to it, and it revealed itself to me, basically. So that's what it is. But my book is entitled, 109. And the reason it's entitled 109 is because that bead, that necklace that you were referring to, has actually 109 beads.
Right.
Because that 109th bead, okay, has a job to do. Its job is to create the necklace. It's to create a connection among all of these isolated incidents, these isolated beads. It brings all of these beads together, right? And that's what all of my stories are about. They're all of these instances where I encountered these numbers, and it's my job to bring them together to express it, articulate it, you know, to share the story.
So each piece of artwork has a story behind it, and all of these pieces connect to make one larger, like it's like puzzle pieces putting the whole story together.
Yep.
But the story it continues, just like the marathon.
Oh yeah, like these are instances that occurred in my life, some very recent and some occurred, you know, many years ago, within the last, you know, within the last 10 years, you know. But I've been noticing these numbers since 2007, really. Yeah, so that's 14 or 15 years now.
Isn't that the same year you left the States?
Korea, right.
For Korea.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder, what does that mean? Like this is where your journey begins. This is...
Yeah, like Korea, you know, when I went, you know, outside, it was a moment when I was forced to look within. You know, as I said, you go out only to look in. And so that's kind of what happened. How are we doing on time?
21 minutes.
What?
21.
This has been 21 minutes of talking?
Yeah, should I stop it?
That's too much.
Window seat surfing on the wing. As an adolescent, I dreamed of big things. Climb to the top of the mountain to see the scene. Petty wap, don't want me to have anything. I'm the captain, no jet lag. Boeing jet swag, floating to the sunset. Keep the drinks coming back. She summoned me, gave me turbulence on the sink. Pretty flight attendant boarding pass, I'm a buddy. Stunting first class, vegan meal yummy.